So Agent Approved brings you AI agent observability control on your wrist. We've got an Apple Watch app and an iPhone app. It's available in the App Store today, July 7th. Works with your favorite agents. It's built on hooks, so you don't have to change how you work, whether they're coding agents or autonomous agents. Basically, we give you full visibility, control via centralized policy. You build up allow lists and deny lists. There's some that ship out of the box, like a restrictive policy or a permissive one. And you can build it as you go, as you approve things. You can remember your choices and shape the policy that's just right for you. You can just get it. I already have it installed. If you don't, it'll just say get. You don't pay right away. There's a 7-day free trial. And there's also a demo mode, which I'm going to show. So you would click get, it would install. And then when you open it, you're going to see this app here on the right. See, I had a little notification there to get back to Hermes. Right now, I've got a bunch of agents that have been active doing things. You can see here a number of Claude sessions, Codex sessions, Hermes. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to skip over into the settings here, and I'm going to show you the welcome screen. So the first time you run the app, you're going to get this welcome screen, and it gives you basically a choice to get started, which is the setup flow. But you can also just try demo. When you're in demo mode, if you go to the approval screen, you're basically getting simulated data, but it's exactly the way the app works. It's giving you a sense of what the capabilities are. So I could, for instance, click in on this approval request. I see there's a bash command that had both the commands parsed separately, and one was in the allow list, the git status, but this Python command is not there. And so with the current policy, the default mode is to ask the user for permission on what to do. So what I can do is I can say approve it, and then I get the option, do I want to allow all uses of bash or only this exact input, or Python M, where I could edit the expression. In this case, I'll just say only this exact input. You go over to the agents. This is again demo data, and it's showing you a number of the agents that we support. You can drill into any of these, and if the agent's working, what you'll do is you'll see the event streaming in like this. You can see it's thinking. You'll see approvals coming in, like bash approved. And then once the approval's done, you see bash completed. I can go look at Hermes. Hermes, by the way, has different agent profiles. So if you have like a default profile, and then maybe you have a project manager or a developer profile, you can get them all to show up here, see exactly what everything's doing. You can monitor your OpenClaw every time its heartbeat's triggering, or if it's being triggered by some internal kind of message, etc. You get the idea. There's also policy here. Right now it's on the default policy. There are things like a restrictive policy, which if I go over to that, we'll see that there are built-in protective, these are potentially dangerous commands. If you don't like one of these, you can go and remove it and customize this. But out of the box, it's got like 250 destructive commands that, I watched an agent essentially live. It was live deleting my home directory because in my Git project, there was a folder and the name of the folder had a tilde as the name. It must have been just a bug or a typo while the agent was working on something. I started getting tons of errors popping up. I'm like, whoa, I caught it just in time. I did a force quit. Agents, weird things like that can happen. It only takes it happening once to lose tons of work that you can't recover. The idea is to provide a safety net out of the box, especially if you're using like a local agent running on a smaller brain, a smaller model. They're not as smart as the bigger models, and they could easily make some of these mistakes. Let's go show you how you get this thing installed. What I'm going to do is go exit demo mode. I'm going to switch over here to the terminal. You're going to start off by configuring your hooks, installing your hooks. And there's an npm package. You're going to run npx agent approve. I've got a little socket wrapper here. I'm going to say, it's going to say, we're going to install agent approve 0.1.33. I'm going to say yes. I've already got an existing install. That's why you can see it says save token verified. It looks for which agents does it detect, and those will be pre-selected. I'm going to leave them all selected. Now it's saying, do you want to use your existing config, or do you want to customize the options? So the first question is, do you want to run it in approval mode or in observe mode? Approval mode, it's expecting that you want to apply policy to control what the agent can do when it's trying to run commands or tools. You'll either have stuff in allow or deny list, and if it matches, it'll just be auto allowed or auto denied. Or if it's not in any of those lists, it'll come and ask you for permission. If you go to observe mode, it's basically saying, we're not going to deal with any of that. We're just going to be streaming events for observability. Let's go ahead with approval mode. If agent is unreachable, you can say, I want to block everything by default or allow everything, which just makes sure that nothing's blocked on your side, but then it's not protected by our policy. In this case, it just falls back to asking whatever the default is for that app. Privacy tier, you don't have to send everything. I like sending the full content so I can see what the agent's doing while it's working on a project, on a request I gave it, the input and the output of the commands, and the files it's reading, and its thoughts. So sending full basically sends all that to your phone, again, end-to-end encrypted so you can see it. But you could also choose to send a summary, which is, just a little snippet. It's not the full content. Or minimal is only the name of the tool. I'm going to go with full. Enable end-to-end encryption, yes. The data retention here is really for you. Like, how much data do you want to see on your device? Enable debug logging. If you want to actually see what data you're getting from the hooks, turn on this hook debug logging and you can see exactly what's being transmitted. And then it's connecting to the iOS app. Now I've got an existing token. If you are starting fresh, it's not going to give you this option. It's going to give you the choice. Do you want to scan a QR code or enter something manually? Scan the QR code. That's the way to do it. In my case, I'm not going to show that now. I'm going to stick with the existing token. This is saving the configuration. You can see everything is stored on the computer that you're installing this on in your home directory /.agent_improve. There's an env file that has the configuration saved in it. You can see hook scripts are downloaded. Now remember, when you're doing this for real, you're going to have your phone at that scan QR code point, but you see step 2 on the right, you're going to connect to your Mac. You're going to hit scan this QR code. You'll get something like that, but if you can't, for some reason your camera's not working, you can also enter it manually. So don't forget to finish installing after you do the scanning. So we're going to say automatic, which means when it installs these hooks, it's going to create a backup of your configs. But if you want, you can do things manually. It basically is showing these are the files that are going to be modified. You can see the home directory, and then this is the standard default directory for these installations. Backups are created with timestamp, and we say yes. And it goes and does all the installations. Now I can see for Hermes, it says it was installed in the default profile, but there's other profiles that were detected here. What you can do is run npx agent approved profiles. Let's go show the profile screen. Here it's showing the profiles that were detected, and then each profile in Hermes is a separate directory. So you can choose to install it in one or all or none, it's up to you. And then on the phone, what you're going to see is a prompt to start your trial. There'll be a subscribe button there. $14.99 a month, 7-day free trial. You're not charged, but you hit subscribe and you get 7 days to evaluate it. Let's go give a simple demonstration, and I'll just going to run Hermes here in the command line. You can see I'm running a local model Quen here, and on the right, you'll be able to see some activity here. So if I just say a hello, now what I should have done is had this drilled in, because now I can see the events. And let's go over here. So you see the user prompt showed up on the right, and you can see the response. And this is basically how it works. Now, I'm typing here in the terminal. Let's say I have to get up, walk away, and I want to go make a coffee or get ready or go out and walk the dog. What I have the option is sending a follow command. You can see this little prompt down here. A few things to point out. In settings, when you first do this, you'll be prompted to grant notifications. You want those on. You want to push notifications on so that you can get these notifications no matter where you are. That was the key point here, right? I want to be able to leave my laptop. I want to be able to walk away and notify when my agent needs me, unblock it so I don't waste time and my agents are maximizing their productivity. I would turn on all these options. The mobile Q&A is still kind of beta. It's not fully supported across everything. There's some known bugs, but what that means is if it asks you with a question tool, you'll get a prompt. Agent completion is on, I think, by default, and that is letting you know when the agent's done, waiting for your attention. And that's what we got here. And then voice follow-up, you want to turn that on. Maybe I should turn that on by default. What that does is it allows you to send a message to Hermes. So if you don't see send a message to Hermes or to Claude or Cursor or whatever it is, you don't have that voice follow-up option turned on. So this is based on hooks. There's a 5-minute countdown window in which you can issue a command. I'm just going to go and say, what is this repo about? ? By the way, there are some quick commands here. Like if you just want to tap, you don't need to, review the plan, keep it simple, check your work. Give me more time is a good one. If you want to extend the timer before you run out of 5 minutes, you can just hit give me more time. But I'm going to send this question. And you can see here on the left, that came in. And if we go back to the agent, we can see now what it's starting to do is run the different commands. And my current policy is to allow all except those in the deny list. And therefore, a lot of these commands are being approved. So here it's come back with the response. If I want, I can drill in and maybe get a little more real estate to see it. It's telling me this is the AI Hero cohort project, talking about things. I get some metadata at the bottom, the model, the directory, and you can see end-to-end encrypted. If I were to go and delete that key, then I will not be able to see this. No one will. That's it at its essence. You can drill in to Hermes to see what's supported. There are some commands here. You can rename the agent. You can change the image. You can manage things like the events or delete it. There's some options there for that. Let me just show you some of these other things. For instance, if I want to use give me more time, I'm going to tap that. So with a tap, I can kind of extend my thinking window. Let's go take a look at another agent. Let's get a couple of folks going here. So here we've got Codex, and I can do the same thing. What is this about? Okay, so again, let me go drill into the Codex so we can see what it's doing. So you see the user prompt, session started. Man, my Codex is going really slow today. I don't know why. You saw there were a few bash commands executed in parallel, right? So 3 approvals, 3 completions. A couple more came in on the batch. I can see the output of what it's doing. Let's go Cursor. We can do this repo. Something like that. So we can see I had my one cursor session here, which was I didn't really use, but if this cursor 33 is the one that's working right now, it's come back. And let's go say, let's send a message to Cursor. Who is the author of this repo, and what can you tell me about him or her? ? Send that. Oh, and so I've got a couple of these queued up, and I'll just hit please proceed. And I'll hit give you more time on that one. Why not? I could just dismiss them. Now, point I wanted to show is what I've got happening now are, multiple agents that are working. You'll see them shift to the top, the most recent activity. Let's go take a look at what Cursor said. Primary author, right? So we got a nice response. We've got markdown formatting on the phone. And again, this works on an iPad too, so you should have more space there. And I'm not even showing the watch. I'm going to have to do that in another video. You're basically getting the same kind of agents and approvals and drill-ins. This video shows drilling into the activity that is happening. You can see it's basically what you have over here. It's just optimized for the watch real estate, which is much smaller. But my dream was realized. Being able to see what my agents were doing on my wrist, not being chained to my laptop. Yeah, it's all here. Now, the thing that this is also providing is this cross-agent view. into everything that's happening. I'm sure many people are using multiple coding apps trying to maximize your different plans. You've got also leveraging autonomous agents running locally like Hermes or OpenClaw. You want to experiment with something new and you don't want to recreate all of your policy or approval lists. So the idea is this helps you apply the policy that you're comfortable with to all that and really bring everything together into one view. Now, since I'm talking about policy, let's go over to the policy page here and show how you change them. On the right here, we've got the policy menu, select policy menu. I'm on allow all accept deny list. Now, by default, you get the default policy. Again, I'm trying to touch that. So when you select a policy, like this chooser menu here, the numbers on the right, the little 4 and 6, 71 and 3, it's showing you how many items are in the allow list or the deny list. And some of these policies don't utilize both lists. Like if you were to create a new policy, if I hit that plus, you can give it a name, description, and you choose the default behavior. So if the default behavior is ask user, you can see the active lists are both allow and deny. But if I choose to allow by default, then my active list is a deny list. That's what I need to manage. If I want to deny by default, then my active list is the allow list. So everything's denied except what I allow, or with allow by default, everything's allowed except what I deny, which is what I like. It keeps things moving as much as possible. But I tell you, being able to choose this restrictive policy when I'm dealing with some sensitive data is probably a good idea. You may find that with the restrictive policy, it's too restrictive. If that's the case, what you can do is go in and maybe you're like, maybe git stash clear is okay. And you can just go delete that and add some other things that you do on the block. So just showing a little bit about how that works. Let me go into the default one. Actually, let me go into this. Let me go create a new policy. We'll call it the demo policy. And we will have it ask by default. And we're going to select that. So I got nothing in my lists right now. And the reason I'm doing this is, and you can see already, I've got an approval that came in here from Hermes. So that's the thing, like Hermes is doing stuff and I didn't even tell it. Okay, it's querying Slack. So I'm going to let it go. It's probably a heartbeat thing or a trigger in response to an alert. I'm not going to add anything right now. I'm just going to hit approve. So I didn't remember anything. You see at the top here, remember decisions. You can turn remember decisions off, in which case you're not going to be prompted to save anything. So if I just hit approve, Hermes Kanban list, it's not asking me to remember anything. I mean, I think it's funny, like this illustrates things perfectly. I didn't tell Hermes to start doing this stuff, but it's doing stuff. And again, what was the trigger? Let's go take a look back. User prompt, important users invoke the incident monitoring skill. But in this scenario, it can't execute anything unless I approve it. Turn on remember decisions, because that's really the smart way of doing this. I'm going to hit approve, and I'm going to allow it to use all uses of to do. If we go over to the policy screen, we'll see now the allow list has one tool now added, to do. All inputs are allowed. I can go and add things manually to the to-do list. This screen here shows all the tools that have been seen, right? So if I'm like, hey, write, I want to allow my agents to work. So I'm going to add write. Write is added to the allow list. All inputs are allowed. I could come back in here and say edit. I want to allow that too. Now, some of these tool names, they're going to vary between agent and agent. They're not always going to match up. Just be aware of that. So this is one way of building up your policy. The other thing you can do is go change your policy. I'm going to go back to what I had before. Allow all except deny lists. This is the profile. And if you scroll down, you'll see some stats over time. Basically, what you can see is you'll get some awards, some badges as you go through things, like Speed Demon. This cloud icon at the top is where you control the status. It's where you control, am I connected or not? What is my account? You can sign out. You can see your plan, and the link to manage your plan is here. There are some controls on this agents page to clear the inactive agents. can dismiss that. I can search, if I wanted to search for all of the Hermes agents, I can do that. Pull them up. Let's clear that. When you're in a particular agent, it must have been this one. Yeah, there's some thinking in this session, but not a lot. The whole point is just showing that, if you want to search for certain events, you can do that and pull them up. Yeah, let's show some other things. If you want to rename the agent, you can do that here. Y agent. Right. Now you got your agent on the list, and then you can change the image with a photo or image that you have on your phone, or you can do it with a URL to an external image. Let's look at these other settings. So privacy level. So you could change it to summaries if you wanted to, or minimal, but I'm going to put it back to full content. And note, the full command is always shown during approval. Data retention is for you. It's not for us. How long do you want to keep events in here? Give you a whole bunch of choices. Encryption keys. Recommend having an end encryption on. Rotation period. You could choose to rotate the keys at various frequencies if you wanted to. Key retention. You can decide you want to keep them all, or do you want to only keep the last so many. You can see all the keys here. There's root keys. These are the pairing keys that are created when you pair. It's the derived keys, which are used to actually do the encryption decryption. There is a way to sync at the top here with your keychain in case for some reason something gets lost. And so you can also add a key. Let's say a key is missing, something got lost in the shuffle. You can go to that source computer where you did the installation. You run npx agent proof pair, and then you go and connect to your Mac, scan the QR code, or enter it individually. And that will retransmit optically the missing key, so that you can then decrypt the events that you couldn't see. Okay, so that's encryption keys. Connected devices, there's currently limits, 3 iOS devices. This just shows your devices and the computers that you have paired with, and you can go in again, pair with another one. It shows you how to run the installer and then connecting the Mac through the scanning the QR code, as we've showed before. Limit of 5 computers. There's an option here to quickly scan the QR code. Demo mode is there. Welcome setup. There's links here to contact support, privacy, all the terms. You can see your version and build. If there's some issue and you need to contact support, make sure you note that. You have the ability to reset policies to the default, which will delete your custom policies. It gives you a confirmation message here, but you can, if you want to get back to the default that everybody gets, you can do it that way. Just be mindful that you're going to lose a custom policy. You could also clear all of your history if you want, and you can also delete your account. You go through here, it's telling you what's going to be deleted. You would have to manage your subscription first and go unsubscribe, and then reviewing the final confirmation, you just type in delete. And there's some status shown at the bottom. On our website, there's the support page here. We've got a GitHub repository, and you can submit an issue there. If you want to browse the issues, it's agent approved is the organization in GitHub. Support is the repo. There's one issue here. We can have discussions there as well. And there's also support email if you want to send an email instead. We keep things updated here on the website. Every time there's a new release, we'll update the changelog. You can see July 7th was the launch. You can see June 19th, we added Antigravity support. In May, we added a couple more agents, Hermes, Windsurf, OpenHands. If you go to the agents page here, for each of the agents, there will be some, tips. You can see the installation command, where things are installed, some recommended configuration, just some other things that are good to know, supported use cases. And again, this is the package on NPM. Everything's here. You're running this locally. You can see all the code that's in this package. You can see all the hooks. The hooks aren't open source at this point, but I am looking at a way of enabling this to be extensible. Right now, let us know if there's an agent you're using and we don't have support for it. let me know. We may be able to get it in there pretty quickly. And let me know if you have any other feedback. And thanks for checking out the app. I hope you enjoy it and get as much value out of it as I have been. Thanks, everyone.